The two dashed to the car, and although they made it just in time, the car decided to take a break. Meanwhile, the lions surrounded them like they were there for a fierce party. Fortunately, the car's glass was like a superhero's shield. The lions tried to launch an attack, but looked more like they were struggling with a bottle opener. The duo drove off the lions. Shaking, she told George she was Neil. Days earlier, her engagement turned comic. Her fiancé flirted with her sister. So, she threw away her engagement and headed to the African plains for self-discovery. Neil recounted the lion attack as a horror show. Of 15 at the campsite, she survived, and George found it bizarre. African lions are so territorial that many gathering together looks like a wild party gone wrong. Suddenly, lions hit the car's radiator, leaving them stuck with no signal. Rescue felt like a space mission. They had to walk 6 kilometers to the campsite, and Neil was too scared to take a step, while George joked that those lions were already full and wouldn't be chasing after food for the fitness routine. As luck would have it, not long after, they stumbled upon a pride of lions playing a game of hide and seek at the cliff. The lions looked at them as if saying, "Found you. Ready to move?" And just like that, they fell. Thankfully, the cliff wasn't steep. Unhurt, they returned to camp, albeit battered. George mulled over that cheeky lion step before their tumble, and his father's warnings replayed in his mind. It felt like a scene straight out of a sci-fi flick. He thought his dad was talking about one of his students, only to realize now that there were clues all along. Meanwhile, 2 guys just left a bar in LA, engrossed in sharing wild tales from the night. The next day, reports came in about the lions, and someone mentioned a zookeeper got bitten. Young reporter Jamie was hot on the trail of this lion bite story, bursting with urgency. He suspected the issue was because the zoo switched to food from Raid & Company, and he was firing off tweets without any evidence like a madman. Raid & Company was a big shot worldwide, and unsurprisingly, Jamie got fired. But he wasn't ready to give up his pursuit for the truth. Jamie arrived at the zoo, where vet Mickey was also on the case of finding out the truth behind the lion attacks, and Jamie followed him into what felt like a secret lab. The rogue lions had been dealt with by the police. They might regret their career choice. They grew up in the zoo, and having never made a mistake, they were the child prodigies of the animal kingdom. Their health checks were great, and there were no signs of abuse. But Mickey told Jamie food doesn't make lions lose their mind. Leaving, Jamie heard pets in LA mysteriously dissipate to a cat's plotting. Animal researcher Mickey was intrigued by this and teamed up with Jamie, armed with flashlights, for a clue hunt. They eventually encountered a shocking scene. What could be the actual cause behind these animals' unusually strange behaviors? A little boy was playing with his dog when his father snatched the dog away, leading to an irate dog grabbing the toy for an offensive charge. The owner was desperately chasing the dog, completely oblivious that he had wandered into the danger zone. Eventually, the dog fled into a dilapidated building, and the man followed, only to find his once compliant dog had prepared a party for him. The room was filled with bodies torn apart by wild dogs, and the man was surrounded by a swarm of vicious canines. Meanwhile, on the distant African plains, an astonishing event unfolded as a group of tourists found themselves besieged by lions. Fortunately, Big Black, though alive, was stuck in a tree by lions and knew to use a phone for help. At the police station, George received Big Black's frantic call for help and was left speechless. He and the cop sped off to the scene. Through the binoculars, he quickly spotted Big Black in the tree, with tension and fear intertwining in his gut. Even as the lions slowly crept closer, George put everything on the line to rescue Big Black with the police. At the hunting camp, tourists were falling left and right, and the medical team rushed in, with George's mom, a medic herself, joining the rescue. Big Black had no bites, just a few scrapes which intrigued George, and the chain of events made him more convinced of his father's theories. George's cousin, Small Black, came to the camp with George's computer and had a lightbulb moment watching his father's videos. George's dad's research showed that humans sit at the top of the food chain because animals are naturally clueless and scared. But soon enough, animals would realize they could rule the world to the glimmer of darkness. After Big Black woke up, George asked him about the attack, and the fact that the lions hadn't hurt him reinforced George's belief. George said the lions wanted to convey a message: "We're not afraid of you." His mom was utterly baffled by this. When his mom found out George was studying his dad's theories, she blew her lid. Those theories got him kicked out of Harvard. But what happened next made her viewpoint shift drastically. All the 20+ people killed by lions actually died from leg artery injuries. They suffered greatly, none killed easily against lion behavior. This undeniable truth forced her to believe her husband was right, and she handed George an address in Japan to find the tapes left by his father. George wanted to stay to protect his mom, but she insisted they had to find a solution quickly. If things escalated, humans would be cornered. So, Big Black, still nursing wounds, joined George on the journey to Japan, a perilous adventure full of the unknown. Meanwhile, in LA, Jamie and Mickey uncovered the truth about the strays and cold animal control, but the cats seemed to understand and fled. Jamie thought those cats could understand their conversations, but Mickey claimed it was the honeysuckle under the trees that spooked them. Unwilling to quit, Jamie scoured the web, ultimately linking anomalies to Raid & Company. Raid's products were everywhere, and they produced a mysterious chemical called 24D, which surely had something to do with the erratic animal behavior. So Jamie decided to dig deeper into the investigation, sensing this was headed towards something truly unbelievable.